Hi everyone, today is my first official YouTube video and today I will try to teach you in less than 5 minutes how you can see whether a stock is interesting or not. For today's goal, well, we are going to use FinChat. So FinChat is a data provider we will use, and let's say that we want to find out whether Visa is an interesting stock or not. First thing we do, well, very simple, Visa, and we are going to use a few very easy, very straightforward steps to determine whether Visa is interesting or not. First thing we are going to do, well, look at the company overview. In other words, do I understand how the company is making money? Because when I don't, well, then I can skip the company right away because we are only interested in companies that we truly believe in and where we understand how the company is making money. Well, in the case of Visa, we see the company overview here. So we see that Visa is a payment technology company operating worldwide. So obviously, you know Visa, or I know Visa. It's a company that I use every single day or almost every single day because I have a Visa card, so they are offering digital payments. So the short answer here is, well, yes, I know how Visa makes money. So when this is the case, well, we have done the first step. Second step we will take is, well, we only want to invest in very profitable companies. You see the dashboard here already. Well, very profitable companies, you can see that here. So for Visa is a very high gross margin. They have a net margin of 55%, which is amazing. So this means that Visa is a very profitable business. And what we can also do is when we go to financials here, well, we can see the profitability of the company. So you can go, for example, to ratios, and then once everything is loaded, you can see some profitability metrics. And also, what is also very interesting, well, the evolution of those profitability metrics. So when we go to margins right here, you can see the evolution of the gross profit margin, the evolution of the net profit margin, and so on. And what is also really interesting, well, when you click on this, you can see the evolution in a chart, which is very interesting. We also see that Visa's net profit margin has been increasing over the years, so this is something we love to see. As a rule of thumb, well, we want a gross profit margin higher than 40% and a net profit margin higher than 10%. Well, Visa's gross margin is very high. The net profit margin is almost 55%, which is also way higher than the 10% we want. So Visa definitely also passes this test. So we've done the first step, look at the company profile. We've done the second step, look at the profitability. We haven't found anything that turned us off yet. So we are going to go to the third step, and that's to look at the capital allocation of Visa in this case. Capital allocation is all about the choices the company or management makes about what to do with the money they generate. It's very important, and we can see this here. So most important metric, or one of the most important metrics for me, is the return on invested capital. I always want this metric to be higher than 10% or 15%. Well, for Visa, it's 22%. So 22% is very healthy, is very good. And by the way, we can also once again look at return on invested capital by just searching for the metric here, return on invested capital. Here you see the evolution, and then you also once again see that the return on invested capital has been increasing over the past few years. So this is also something very good we see right here. Fourth step, well, we only want to invest in winners. What do we mean by this? We only want to invest in companies that outperformed the S&P 500 in the past. So when we go here, and I will close this one really quickly. Here you can see the chart of Visa, and we are going to compare this one with the S&P 500. So for example, the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, well, when we do this on maximum. We want the longer the track record, the better. And we look at the total return, and then you see the purple line here, the performance of Visa, and the orange line, the performance of the S&P. Well, we see that Visa compounded by 21.2% per year versus 14.6% for the S&P 500 since 2008. So here we also conclude, well, Visa is a clear winner. They have managed to do really well in the past, and that's exactly what we want. So we've had the first step, the company profile. Second step, the profitability. Third step, the capital allocation. Fourth step, well, we only want to invest in winners. And then now we've arrived at the fifth step, and that's the structural growth. So we want to invest in companies that managed to grow attractively in the past, and also that managed or will continue to grow attractively in the future. Here we see that in the past 5 years, Visa has grown its revenue by 9.3% per year on average. Over the past 10 years, even by 11%. When we look at the EPS, or the earnings per share, well, an historical average growth rate of 12.8% over the past 5 years, and even higher, 16% over the past 10 years. So historical growth has been very attractive. And when we look at the future, we can also see here the EPS long-term growth estimate. We see that analysts expect Visa to grow their EPS by 12.3% per year in the long term, which is a very healthy figure. By the way, when you here go to estimates, you can also see the estimates of analysts over the years, which is interesting. So also for this step, step 5, Visa seems to be doing really well. That's exactly what we want to see. And then we've arrived at the 6th step of this video and the last step of this video, and that's obviously valuation. Even the best company in the world can be a terrible investment when you overpay. Well, what are we going to look at here? Very simple for the purpose of this video. We are just going to compare the forward PE of Visa with its historical average. So also here, what can we do? Forward PE, and then we can chart this one and look at the evolution. And when you look at this, here you can download the chart. Wait, let me zoom out a bit. That will make it a bit easier. When you look at this chart, you see that more or less Visa is trading in line with its historical average in terms of valuation. I'm looking at the forward price to sales here, but we can do the same, which we actually want, the price to earnings, or just the PE ratio, obviously. And forgive me, this is also my first video, but let's see what comes out of it and whether there is demand. Well, we can keep exploring here. So you can look for price to earnings here in the search field, but also here, when we look at the PE ratio, EV, EBITDA, and so on, or the forward valuation, what we want in this video, the forward PE ratio, we'll click on it, and then we will see the chart plotting everything. So here you can basically see that Visa is trading in line with its historical average, forward PE of 28.4. So basically on these 6 steps, we haven't found anything that turned us off for Visa. We've looked at the essentials and those look good. And this basically means that Visa could be interesting to look into further and to go into deeper. And following these 6 steps, well, they allow you to determine in less than 5 minutes basically whether a stock is interesting or not. So these have been the basics. This is my first video, and obviously it isn't perfect. If you think this is interesting, well, please leave a comment, like this video, or let me know in the comments about which company I should make a short video next time, and we will get onto that. So thank you very much for watching this video, and hopefully this was the first of many